Good morning. Today is January 8th, and it's 7:11 in the morning. And this is Janice Wold Grenadier. I also go by JW Grenadier. And we're going to talk about today's hot topics in the news. One of them is that Kevin McCarthy has taken over the speakership of the government, of the Congress. Is that good? Is it bad? We had a debate about that. But the problem with the debate was it turned out looking foolish. It was okay to have the debate for 1 or 2 days, but when it turned into a full week, it became foolish because they had gotten their important points in the very first few votes, it appeared, where they could easily vote him out on a confidence vote with just one person standing up and saying, I just don't like that. So it almost became standing for the 20 people who held out. And let me make it clear, I'm all for those 20 people holding out. I believe we have a voice, and I believe that one voice can make a difference. But I also think it has to be reasonable, and it can't have the appearance of grandstanding. It has to have substance to it. My next subject I'd like to talk about is the SEC. I'd like to talk about Sam Friedman, Leon Cooperman, and Bernie Madoff. What do they all three have in common? They're all Jewish, which, any religion is good. Please do not take me taking that out of context. But we're looking at a cover-up by the SEC on all three of them. And what is the commonality of the three of them, where they had the trust of so many people? And a lot of times we do have religion. When we see somebody in a certain religion and we're in that religion, there's a certain amount of extra trust that is sometimes given. No different than the Democrat and the Republican Party, the trust that some people have in either of those parties. So I'm not calling him out for the religion, but I am calling it out as something they all have in common. Bernie Madoff, the SEC whistleblower, when I called to check on my complaint against Leon Cooperman, stated that was a bad moment for the SEC. They knew for over 10 years that Bernie Madoff was a Ponzi scam. They knew for over 10 years that people within the SEC were being paid off by Bernie Madoff. He would offer them jobs. He would offer them bonuses. He would call people to get them their jobs to be promoted. So we know for a fact, and okay, I don't know for a fact. I know because someone within the SEC gave me this information that this took place. We have a problem in our government. Everything is upside down right now. Where are the good men? Where are the good women who are standing up and speaking out that are working in our government? We, the people, versus the government. And that's where we're at right now. What are we going to do about it? This is where I'm going to come in with my grand jury and a special grand jury. History of the grand jury goes back a long time, which I'm not going to get into, But I do have a Zoom call this afternoon on Sunday at 4 p.m. that you're more than welcome to join in. I will, after I post this, I will put the invitation under it. If we take back our country using the grand jury, it is the peaceful way that our forefathers gave us to do it. It is the peaceful way that our forefathers gave us to hold accountable in the fourth arm of government our rights and all of our constitutional rights, our state constitutional rights, our Declaration of Independence rights, our Bill of Rights, our four freedoms. But it takes action. It takes money and action. I have been trying to get in front of the grand jury. I've gone 8 times in Culpeper, Virginia. In the city of Alexandria, I will be trying to do it again on Monday, January 9th at 9 o'clock. If you're interested in showing up, you need to be there by 8:45 to be sure you're through security and up on the 4th floor. You can't bring a phone and you can't bring any type of electronics. If you were a lawyer, you could, but you're not. If you're not a lawyer, you can't. And this is discrimination to pro se litigants. And it's a choice of the judge. It's a choice of the chief judge as to if you get to bring, if we the people, get to bring in our phones and electronics. Only corrupt chief judges don't allow them in because they're afraid. What is the fear our judges have? Is the American public finding out that the judicial swamp is done all in secrecy. And I understand how they get to do this because, and I'm going down a rabbit hole, but we were raised to respect and to think highly of doctors and lawyers and judges, politicians, all of these people. We looked as professionals. What are they really today? Professional crooks. And I know that sounds hard. And it was hard for me to get to this point. But after being raped financially, emotionally, and everything taken from me by these judges, it's very easy for me to say it today. So let's get back to the grand jury. So when our forefathers were creating our Constitution, they created the fact that the grand jury was not owned under Article 1, 2, or 3 of the Constitution by any other branch. It's a freestanding fourth arm of government that we, the people, have to actually hold the other 3 branches in check. The problem we have is we gave up our rights to it. We allowed the government to put into statutes and into law denying us access, or at least the smoke and mirrors of denying us access. We have to change that. And I'm going to teach you, or I'm going to show you different ways of how to get in front of the grand jury, or to at least start thinking about it. We have to start teaching our children from birth their birthrights of being United States citizens. Other things in the news today are the transgender. The transgender information, there is a judge in Texas who is allowing his son to be castrated. The father is sticking up and trying to prevent it, and it's going to the Texas Supreme Court. We need to open our eyes. Children should not be castrated at an early age. Little boys should not have that done to them. But we have to remember also that judges gave themselves immunity by taking a young girl and removing her reproductive parts. So we have to start really listening to what's going on. This is Janice Wold Grenadier, JW Grenadier, signing off, and I will be doing a little update daily. Have a great day.